After bouncing around a lot of teams, how good was it to finally find a place to settle in and know you're going to be here? You signed long term, and how did that transition go? Obviously, young family moving to a new place. How did that go away from the ice this season?
Yeah, it was great. Columbus, the organization, everything about the city has welcomed us with open arms, and as you said, we've traveled around a lot, so it's been a blessing to sit down and lay some roots down and get a little bit more comfortable, and my family couldn't be more thrilled to be here.
Erik, the season obviously just wrapped up. It's not what you guys wanted, but can you this quickly look toward next season with some optimism or a lot of optimism, looking around the room, knowing what you guys have?
Yeah. I mean, I at least for myself and a number of guys I've spoken to in the room, it's you almost want to start it tomorrow and just put this one behind you. Tough year like this, it can light a good fire under you that, to be really solid this summer, to have a really, strong summer, and come back ready to go to put this in your rear view and start going up.
I think we talked about this during the season a little bit, but the injuries were obviously unfortunate. The flip side is there's opportunity for everybody, including yourself, to kind of move up the lineup, play a little bit more minutes. Did that increased time help you sort of, get your legs under you here a little bit? I know it's tough for free agents to wherever you land.
Mm-hmm. It definitely did. I've always done well with, an extra minute here and there. Just lets me feel the game more, get my timing there, and I got a lot of consistency from the coaching staff and the organization to let me play and allow me to make mistakes and clean them up on my own. So it was for myself that ice time was really valuable, and across the board there's a lot of guys that got their feet wet, got a taste of what this league is and how difficult it is, because we had some tough nights this year, how good you really have to be to play in this league for a long time. So we've, as I said, a lot of guys got their feet wet, and I'm sure those guys are going back home this year with that fire I was speaking about earlier.
Does a season like this one, does it sort of, I mean, you're a new guy, obviously, when you came in, not anymore you aren't, but when you came in, and that's always tough to deal with, but going through the challenges that you guys went through, does that bond you as a team, maybe even more so than some of the winning?
Yeah. I mean, we're going to do our darnest, as I said, to make this not happen again. This is extraordinarily difficult. There was some really hard times in that room this year, and the obvious plan is to put that behind you, start moving forward, and next year be in a way better place, the following year be in a better place than that, and have that ability to look back on this year and almost be proud that was the starting point of something really good.
So just Brad Larson, obviously the tough news about him letting go. Just what was it about him that, in working with him, that stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, Lars is one of the kindest people I've ever met. Had all the time in the world for conversation and genuinely wanted to get you better. So that's waking up to that news this morning. It doesn't make for a good day. Nobody feels good about it. Everybody. His name's out there, and he's the one dealing with a tough decision today. But we all had a piece of that puzzle, and you got to look yourself in the mirror for that one also.
Erik, as a guy who's been around the league and been in a lot of different dressing rooms to see what works and what doesn't, maybe the injuries cast a pall on everything here. But what can you say about the culture of this room and where it is versus where it needs to get to?
Yeah, I think. It's very much in its infancy. This is a young, excited group that needed some experience this year to kind of figure out how that culture is, what the base of that culture is going to be, and we made a lot of mistakes trying to build that this year, and we're going to learn from them going forward. The number one thing about that and the guys in this room is that there's a lot of really good people, a lot of really strong hockey players and good minds that genuinely want to get better, and this is going to be a huge off season for us to keep adding bricks to that culture and get it going in a direction where execution, hard work, and you know, all those details, character, that kind of stuff is all at the forefront of it.
We don't truly see how the dynamic works in that room, but do you see yourself taking even more of a leadership role in the subsequent seasons here?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you kind of, I guess you have a year like this in your 30s. It sucks because I got lots of hockey left in me, but it's not as much as I did when I was 20 years old. You know what I mean? So, you know, time starts to press a little bit when you get to my age, and you know, some other guys who are a little bit older as well. That you definitely don't want this to happen again. And you know, when we first came here and to where we are now, we didn't leave this team in a better situation than it was when we stepped in, and we got to figure that out and fix it.
And can you say what you need from a coach, the next coach here? What is the right sort of personality, the right sort of?
Yeah, I you know what, that's a tough question because they're all so different. They all have their things, their strengths, their weaknesses, what they like doing, what they don't like doing. You know, systematically, it's a copycat league. The teams are doing very similar things. At the end of the day, it's, you know, similar systems, and whoever is best at executing it and more consistent at doing it is the team that usually wins. So, you know, that's on the players' minds for sure. That exact thing, just being able to execute it on a daily basis, and you know, have an upward, gradual climb from the beginning of the season to the end of next year.
What did it mean to you and the team as the losses mounted, the building was still filled? And,
Yeah.
you know, Columbus is a hockey city.
Oh yeah. That was hands down one of the most noticeable things for me. I couldn't believe it. There was games that, you know, I thought there'd be 4,000 people here, and they probably would have been right to do so. And you know, I didn't really expect it. I didn't really know too much about Columbus coming here, but played a lot of places, and the fans here are unbelievable, truly unbelievable. They came, you know, we lost that tough game against Buffalo right after Christmas. That following Saturday night, we were sold out. Like, that's amazing, and that makes us feel good, and we got to take ownership in that and not take that for granted.
This was obviously mentioned earlier that you've had a number of stops, some one-year stops in there. Is this a little different off the ice experience for you this year? You got to know a new place, but knowing that you have term on your contract, you're going to be here, you're going to be back here. You know,
Mm-hmm.
So getting to know Columbus from that aspect, did that make anything, you know, different than maybe previous stops?
Yeah, I think, I mean, from a hockey standpoint, I get to just go work on my game this summer and not have any other, you know, concerns and worries. And you know, the planning that goes into moving around with the family is quite a bit. You know, my wife's happy. She's got a lot less stress just coming back here and going right back into our house. So that's going to be one of the biggest things. And you know, with two kids, we've been around the city lots. We've gotten to see a lot of the sights, and you got to get them out of the house. So we've got to see quite a bit of Columbus, and it's been great.
The zoo?
Oh yeah, annual member.
Favorite animal?
Ooh. I got a leopard tattooed on my arm.
Oh, there you
Yeah, the leopards are cool.
March, you said panda.
Yeah, I could see that. Could see that.
There you go. All right.
Thanks, guys.